Hello, we are going to do a little psoas activation here. The psoas is a long muscle that starts in the lumbar section of the vertebrae and follows all the way through the pelvis, attaching to the femur. It joins the iliacus to form the iliopsoas, and essentially its main function, I would say, is to keep the femoral head in the hip in the proper way. So it is integral for a runner to, or actually backcountry skier, all of us, to keep those hips aligned and happy. And so we want to target that a little bit today. All right, finding a chair, have a seat on it, put your hand on the inside of your knee, and I want you to press your knee into your hand and press the hand away, creating tension. Then I want you to feel around in this hip. Right now, if your back is just a neutral position, you shouldn't feel much activation. Now, if you tilt your lumbar up a little, if you tilt in, you should find that activation. Again, pressing the knee and the hand against one another to create tension. This is activating the psoas. Holding here for a few seconds. And release. Perform that a few more times on this side, 3 to 5 more times. Again, let's just find it one more time together. Hand on the inside of the knee, pressing, little arc in the back, feeling this activated right now. Sitting nice and tall, breathing with it. And release. Do the same thing on the other side. And on the inside of the knee, small arch in the back, feeling that psoas activated. Again, just feel around and get to know your body in that spot and see when it is firing and when it's not. Point is to target it, get used to how it feels activated so that we can better work on it. One more breath in. Release. Do that again 3 to 5 times on each side. Wiggle it out a little when you're done. Now we can remove the chair. Grabbing onto something. We want to lean forward a little bit. So if you're more comfortable just leaning into a wall, do that. For the sake of not moving around too much, I'm just going to be here tilting forward. Lifting that leg up, again checking in and seeing if that psoas is activated, then just opening into the side, back in, keeping that knee as parallel to the ground on the side as it is when it's perpendicular to the body. One more time on this side. And release. Other side. All right, trying to lean forward. Again, making sure that's active, out to the side. To add challenge, you can create a greater angle for your body. It's a little difficult for me right now because I'm not against a wall. The greater the angle, just a little bit more challenge. Again, nice and slow, keeping that femur nice and parallel to the ground, knee high. And release. All right, moving down to the ground. See how much of my body can be in this. All right. What we're doing here are heel slides, but instead of just relying on our hamstrings to pull and release, I want you to really focus on the psoas. Now that we know what it feels like, make sure it's activated. All right, so slowly drawing that leg down to the ground. You can see just part of me here. And up. sliding as much as you can. So if you need to find socks or dish towels or just do it straight on the wood floor, releasing it down and pulling it back up. Feel this activated here. If you need to tap in, literally, to remind it to be doing something, just check in with it. All right, doing that on both sides. Say 5 times on both sides. Again, these are slow and controlled. You should feel just the activation in that upper part, or the top part of your hips, rather. All right, we're moving into a bridge, which I am certain you have all done before, but with this, again, instead of like pressing through the glutes and pressing through the heels and all that like we normally do, I want you to tilt that pelvis forward, feeling the psoas activate, and then I want you just to lift the hips and stop wherever that psoas is still activated. So it's probably not going to be as high as normal for you, but stop wherever you still feel that tension in the psoas. And just hold there. Again, just checking in with it, making sure it is activated. You can play around and see when it shuts off and go back down to where it needs to be to stay active. All right, 2 more breaths. And release. Just move your hips side to side, loosening everything up a little bit, or spend some time just in butterfly, releasing the nice tension created. And it shouldn't be painful, it shouldn't be sore, it should just be a noticed sensation. So continue moving through those movements to ensure that your psoas is being activated and called upon to keep that femoral head in your hip socket, because that's where it wants to be.